Oh, see you. Sit down. We need you in the pictures over here. Okay, Masechta Menochos Daf Samach Hey Amar Aleph. Welcome back. Starting from the Mishnah on Samach Hey Amar Aleph, we're going to talk about the Seder of the Ktziras Ha'ima. Zog the Mishnah. Keitzad Hein Oisen. How would they do the Seder of the Ktziras Ha'ima? Says the Mishnah, Shluchei Bezdin Yoitzimei Erev Yom Tov. The Shluchei Bezdin would go out on Erev Yom Tov. Samachei. The Shluchei Bezdin would go out on Erev Yom Tov, meaning Erev Yom Tov, the first day of Pesach, the Oisen Krichos, and they would tie up bundles, but the Mechubel Kaka was still connected to the ground. And today, right after Shabbos, today Sheyehei Noyach Liktzer. I mean, right after Yom Tov, today Sheyehei Noyach Liktzer, so that it should be easy to cut it right after Yom Tov. What was the purpose of it? So you have different pshatim over here. One of the pshatim is because you only start to count the Svidas Ha'ima after you were koitzed it for, only after you cut it for. So in order that they should be able to have the full 49 days, so right after Yom Tov, all they had to do is the most minimum of the Avodah to cut it, and once they cut it, they could start counting the Svida. Zog Yimara Kol HaYor, Zog the Mishnah Kol HaYor is Hasmuchas L'Sham, Miskanso is L'Sham. On Motzei Yom Tov, what would happen? All the people would gather together to watch how the Ktsira is being done.
How they cut it.
Today, Sheyehei
Many all the
Niktza.
people, millions of people.
A lot of people that lived in the okay. Today, Sheyehei Niktza Beis Gadol, so that the Ktsira should done with Ageisa Tumul. What was the purpose of it? Because the Baitusim said the only time, when do we start the Oima? Only Mimachas HaShabbos, only on a Sunday, no other day. If it's the middle of the week, no. That's not what we said. The Chacham said, no, it's a Geitish Lazay. We do Mimachas HaShabbos means the second day Yom Tov. The second day of Pesach is when the mitzvah is. Doesn't matter which day of the week it falls out on. So in order to prove them wrong, so I'm going to tell you Yom Tov during the week. Chal, that's when it was. I'm going to tell you Yom Tov most of the times. It fell out. Pesach, the first day of Pesach, middle of the week. The second day was also middle of the week. So when the Ktziras happened right after Yom Tov, they made a tumult to show. Doesn't have to be Sunday. Now by Tusim, Tzedaikim, the Tzedaikim, you're going to see the Tzedaikim did one against the Chacham one way, the Baitusim another way. At the end they joined. But Zay Zayin Given, the Talmidim, they were the students of Antignois Isoichai. He had one Talmud called Baitus and one Tzaddik. And that's where we get the Tzedaikim and the Baitusim. They went off fighting, saying, no, we have to go according to Lisa State, Mamish in the Torah. No Pshatim. Okay? So this is to fight them. Once it got dark, that's when the time of the Ktziras happened. Right when the stars, when the sun went down and the stars are out, that's when they started to do the Ktziras. The one that has to cut says to the tzibur, Ba Hashemesh, did the sun go down and the stars come out? So the tzibur said, yes. He asked it 3 times. Ba Hashemesh, the sun go down? And the tzibur would say, yes. He says it twice over here because to tell you that it wasn't together in Bevas Achas. They didn't say twice. First he asked once, they answered once. The second time, and then answered the second time. Not in one time. They didn't. Oh, it doesn't mean that he asked right away.
They didn't cut on the second day. They cut mamish toward night.
The night. That's the second day. Yeah. So the same thing with Magal Zu. This sickle. They said, should I cut with this sickle? Should I cut now? I'm hit. He says, yeah. Magal Zu says, this sickle should I cut with? Oima, the tzibur says, hin, kupazu, this box. Should I put the tefillah in this box? Oima, the tzibur answers, hin, yes, kupazu, should I put it in this box?
Yes.
Oima zu, yeah. So you macht a ganze ceremony. They made a whole ceremony the whole thing that it should be such a tumult.
Shabbos.
And when the Gizmanik see the fell out on Shabbos, by Shabbos, the Kaitza says, the one that has to cut it says, Shabbazu, should I cut today in Shabbos? The Tzibah says, Hin, yes, Oimehin. Shabbazu again, should I cut today on Shabbos?
So you have too much
I'm a
preparation for this
So
Gemara,
he said
right?
twice.
And that's all cut and paste.
So he said twice.
Yeah, no, it was 3 times. Here in the Mishnah says twice, just to tell you that he asked and then they answered and then he asked. It wasn't he asked twice and they answered. Okay? Exer. So the Kaitza would ask, should I cut? Vehemim like cut. Exer. Vehemim like they say cut. Shalish piyamim. It was 3 times they I'll call Dava the Dava. They asked on each and every one. The Hein and the Tzibah answered, Oimerlai answered, Hein, or Hein. The answer was on each time.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Hey, you want to call Kachlama? Why did I need it so many times? Why? Because they said, Ein Tzisayim b'Mitzvah Yamtiv. Tzisayim is not b'Mitzvah Yamtiv. It's B'Machzah Shabbos, not b'Mitzvah
So it
Yamtiv.
had to be 3 times to understand it.
To know, they made a tumult in front of. They screamed, yes! I was like, Shai cut! Yes! So it was a whole thing. So they saw in the middle of the week.
So that's what
What's this whole tumult? What's the whole
There
tumult?
was no microphones at that time.
Shayfres. Okay, trumpets. Tell me about you learned. Elaine, Yoimaya, the loyal behind. These first days that they had the Vekuach, those are the days that they're not allowed to fast. And the part of them, it's forbidden to make a hesped. Meaning, he says from Reish Chodesh Nisan till the 8th day of Nisan, so that they had another reason why not to say, because they were arguing, we're soon going to see, but again to the Tomid. If the Tomid that they brought could be a Tomid from a Yochid, the Tmidim that they brought, could a Yochid bring a Tomid? So the Chacham said, no, Tomid has to be a Tzibur. And they brought proof, and the Baitusim brought proof it could be a Yachid. And the Chachamim won. So therefore, those days, it took them 8 days to win the Vikuach. So those 8 days from the Shchid Shtis until the 8th day, we're soon going to see about the Tommy that they brought, could it be brought from a Yachid?
But how was the argument?
Oh, we're going to get to it very soon. And the loy misput, and you can't make a hesped. Umit manya bay, and from the 8th day till the end of Chag HaPesach, he takes a Chag of the Shavuah. That's when they were meyashiv about when Chag HaShavuah should fall out on, and then the Chachamim won over the Baitusim, and it says the loyla misput, not to make a hesped. So, but really, they could. The truth is, they could make a hesped. This is what Rashi brings down. The loyla shaloyla anis, not the loyla misput. You don't read the words loyla misput from the 8th day till the end of Yom Tov Pesach. Rather, you read shaloyla anis because you're allowed to make a hesped. And Rashi explains what's the difference between the first days that you can't fast and you can't make a hesped, and the other days you could only not fast, but you're allowed to make a hesped. So Rashi explains because the first 8 days, the vikuach was a much stronger one. Why? Because the debate was they debated much stronger. They brought proof from Psukim, and we won over them. So that was a big Yom Tov, the first 8 days. About the Tamid, they brought the eyes from Psukim, and we showed them, and we won over without Psukim, and that was a big Yom Tov. So that's why you're not allowed to fast or make a hesped. The other 8 days, the Baitusim said Shtusim, and we won over the Shtusim and Gebolbet. And for the stomach aches that they said that they had in their stomachs, and proving Baba Mises, and we won over the Baba Mises. No, okay, we're not going to fast, but a hesped we could still make. Okay, so that's what Rashi explains.
Oh, we still don't make a hesped.
From the 8th day and on, he says, yeah, you're allowed to make it. Oh, no, because it's Yom Tov. It means all the days before it. From the Shchedish Nisan, there was 8 days that they were debating, and they won over the debate about the Tamid. The Loyla Misput, and we don't even make a hesped. The tzedaikim here, it's not the baitusim. This debate was with the tzedaikim. The tzedaikim said, Yochid misnadev, or maybe Tomid. A Yochid, Tmanya means 8. It says 7? No, Tmanya, it's 8 days.
No, it's just talking about Saudi. It's nothing to do with.
Oh, Shoyi tzedaikim. This time the debate was with the tzedaikim. Shoyi tzedaikim. Yochid misnadev, maybe Tomid. A Yochid can bring as an adava the Tomid. My daughters, says Gemara, from which pasuk did they can bring a raya from? Because it says as akevas achad, and it says tase. Tase is a lashon yachad. Tase ba'beika. Veis hakes hasheni tase ben abayim. So the tzedaikim ham getainet. Tase is lashon yachid. It teaches us that even a yachid can bring an adava and bring the tamid from his own money, and you're not mechuyev to bring a dafke from the machzah shekel from the shol tzibur. Maya hadu. What did the Chalma answer? No, it says as kabini lachmi lishai tishmeru. It says tishmeru on that same pasuk. Tishmeru is lashon rabim. Sheyiyu kulam bayim etrumas halishka, that they all had to come from the machzah shekel, from the trumas halishka that they set aside for the tzibur. Okay, mitmanya bay v'atzev mayada. What about from the 8th day till the end of Yom Tov? Itoysev chaga de shavuaya. Over there, they they settled when Chag HaShavuos is going to be. It's always on the 50th.
This fight took 8 days.
Yes, that's why. Yeah. It was a bit.
One person has Sheta Zoy.
It's not that much, but it's
8 days they're fighting back and forth. The same thing.
Yeah. There was more. Okay, something about it. The Leila Misput. The first 8 days. So he says, what about the 8 days till after Yom Tov? The Leila Misput. So we said it means the Leila Sanis, like we said before. Here's the Baitusim. Before was the debate with its Daikin. Shahoyi Baitusim Baitusim said, Atzeres. Chag HaShavuos, this man is always Ach HaShabbos, always falls out on the Sunday, Memachas HaShabbos. They state also Memachas HaShabbos by Shavuos. Nitpal Bahem, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, and they went and to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai to have a debate. Ram Lahem.
Dupo.
Ram Lahem. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says, Shaitim. Nayim Lachem. Where do you get this? That Shavuos always has to fall out on a Sunday. There was nobody to answer. Except there was one Zaken that came to say his shtusim and say the reasoning. He said like this: Moshe Rabbeinu was a lover of the Jews. He knew Atzeres Shavuos is only one day. Celebrate one day. It's the chain. Omar v'tikna. So he said, listen, that day should be Ach HaShabbos Kedei Shehei Yisrael Misangin Shnei Yom. So we're going to make it. It should be after Shabbos. I say 2 days you can have an Einik. 1 day is the pasna. Should make a Yom to 1 day. The 1 day is before you know it, it's gone.
But Israel was 1 day or 2 days.
It's 2 days, Shavuos, by the way.
So what? Pesach.
Even though it's that's the only Yom Tov, it's 2 days.
So Shavuos should follow Pesach.
Pesach, no, so right. So you make the 50 days. It can only be if you cut the Omer. It's dependent on the Omer. On the 50th of the Omer, it becomes Shavuos. Okay, so they say the famous joke. I saw this on a clip from him, Stefanski.
Yeah.
He says over there, there's a YouTube clip. Purim. They asked the Americans, no, how many days do you want Purim? So what's Purim? Oh, Purim is that you give Shalach Manos, you give tzedakah, you have to give a lot of tzedakah. 1 day, that's enough. You have to give someone tzedakah. And that's his soul. They came to that in Yerushalayim. In fact, how many days to Purim? What's the Purim? Purim, the Kleib Geld. Kleib Geld. 2 days. Okay. Anyway, sagt die Gemara, Kara alav mikazeh. They said this pasuk. So he says, he laughed on them. Rabbi Yochanan said, we know that it was only 11 days from Chayrev through Harsei till Kadosh Barnea. So Kadosh Barnea was right next to Eretz Yisrael. If Moshe was a lover of the Jews, why do you keep them there for 40 years? It's only an 11-day journey. Or you could have even done it in 3 days, whatever, another day. But look, he kept them for 40 years.
He was even so.
Huh?
He was even
so. Halten 40 days instead of 11 days. I'm like, They said to Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi, with such an answer, a ridiculous answer. Sometime, when you show love at sometimes, doesn't have to be every time, which he's right, but he didn't want to tell them the truth. So he brings down from Rashi, we don't, if another Gemara, I'll look it up where it is. Rashi, so there he brings down, it seems like it's Harashbam in Kiddushin. You're not supposed to tell the Baitusim or the Tzedekим the real reasoning, unless you're forced to. But since they came on so strong, so now Rabbi Yochanan felt he has to say the truth. Really, in the Rebbe's Sikha we find that there was a much deeper vikuach over here, because they felt, the Baitusim, that in order to have this Oiridus from the Yom Tov of Shavuos, you needed a Shabbos, like I said, the Oiridus from Shabbos, that's the right preparation for Shavuos. Rabbi Yochanan said that's not a good preparation, because that's a preparation from Isarus Leila. You got a Isarus Leila, and then when it goes away, it's over. The true way is Aboyim Shon Bamidbar. The Yidnom Gidaf Arbeiten find within themselves the love of Hashem and to make a Yom Tov, and then it's like by Shavuos they added a day of their own. That's the main thing. This Isarus Leila is a much stronger bond with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As the Rebbe says in the Sikha like that. Amalei, Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai said to them, Shoita, v'loi tei Torah shalem shalom k'sicha b'teila shalachem. Our Torah, our complete Torah, shouldn't be like your Dvarim b'teilim. And he said like this, Kas v'achadei, and one pasuk it says, Tishbu chamishim yom. It says you count 50 days. So you're not going according to the week. Because v'achadei, Shabbos tmimis tiyana. And another pasuk says, by the week, 7 weeks. I mean, you see in the Eimer, we do a Yom Echad. If it's 7 days, it's a Shavua Echad. But you see, you do the Yom also. Okay, so how does it work? You go by the week or you go by the day? So he says, the Yom Tov Shecholis B'Shabbos. If it's the first day falls out on Shabbos, then it's Taki, you count by the weeks. It comes out by the weeks. Kan, in the pasuk that says, Tisbu Chamishim Yom, it doesn't mean Chamishim, because we don't count 50.
49.
We count 49 days. No, the kavanah is that till the 50th day, but the 50th day is not included. So he says, Kam b'yom tov shecholis b'emtza Shabbos. And here it's talking about when the Yom Tov falls out in the middle of the week. Like this, yes. So it goes according to the days. You don't go according to the weeks. Okay, so you see, we don't go, that we don't count Dafka Sunday for the Omer, whenever that happens. If it's there's Tishbu Chamish Yom, sometimes that happens in the middle of the week, and then you have the Shavuos Shabbos. Sometimes that happens on a Sunday too. Okay. Now we're going to bring different psukim. Rabbi Lazar Sefer, Rabbi Yishmael Meiner, Rabbi Yishmael Me'amer, Rabbi Yehuda Lamata. I'm going to go. These are the simanim. Rabbi Lazar Omer. Rabbi Lazar says, you don't need the raya from Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai that you count that even in the middle of the week. You can start the svida. Because it says when they get to svida tisba loch. What do you mean loch? Lashon means that svida tluya bebezdin, that it's totally in the bezdin making the count and figuring out when Rosh Chodesh should be, and that's when Pesach is, and that's when the Omer is. So you see, it's totally in us counting now. Yotza Shabbos Bereshis, but if you say it always falls out on Sunday, it's not dependent on Bezdin Loch. It's not like you Bezdin. If it's Alamol Zuntik, it's always Sunday. What's Loch? What are you depending on Bezdin? You don't have to take off your shoes to see when it's Sunday. But the other way, you have to count. You have to figure it out. Because if it's Shabbos Bereshis, everybody knows when the Sunday is. Shabbos Bereshis means like from Sheish Shmei HaBereshis. Like the week was set up Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. If Breishis means the beginning of the week, Sunday, everybody knows when that is. You don't need Loch for the Bezdin to be Keveya. It says in the Pasuk, Minei Yomim. It says count 29 days for a full Chodesh. L'mashal, if it's the middle of the day when you see the new Levana, you start from the next day. You have to have a full day.
So you skip the day.
You skip a day. Sometimes it's 29 days. Sometimes it's 30 days.
So
the Kaddish. And then,
31 is
no, if it's 30 days, so then the 31st day. The Kaddish, and you wear Makadish the 30th day for Rosh Chodesh. Okay? And to be Makadish, the Kab Musaf Rosh Chodesh. It also says Minei Yomim. You count by the Sfira, it says Minei Yomim, the 49 days. The Kaddish and be Makadish the 50th day as Atzeres HaShavuos. So now, Says the Gemara, Ma Chodesh, just like by the Chodesh, Samach li bi Asay Nikar. Well, how does it work by the Chodesh? When do you have to start counting from the Shas HaMoiled? From right when you see the moon, you count right after that. The next day, the first day.
Not in the night this year.
Not in the middle of the day. No, not in the middle of the day. But you right after the middle of the day, the next day right away you have to start counting. So just like there, you have to right away start counting. Afatzeres, something will be yos in the cares. So too, when it comes to Shavuos, it has to be immediately. Or I'm sorry, even by the Oima, the Yom Tov Rishon Shal Pesach. So it says also Menei, you should start counting the Oima. When should you count it? Right away, right after the first day of Pesach. Menei Yamim, like it says.
It's like a second day.
The second day you count. Right after Pesach, the first day. Menei Yamim, start counting the Oima, just like by Rosh Chodesh. Right after you see the new moon, the next day, right away.
So the first night you say Hallel, the second night also you say Hallel?
Yeah.
Both nights.
We say the whole Hallel because Haman and his kids were hung at that night. So we say the Gans Hallel.
I'll make sure they hang you the whole night. not halfway though.
Oh, right. And if you're going to say that Atzeres has to be always the Sunday and not the 50th day, not right away. So he says, the Svira, you're not starting, because Pesach started, let's say, on Sunday. Give a mashal. You're not going to start Svira till after the Shabbos, Sunday, because it has to be on a Sunday. The first day of Pesach falls on Sunday. You're going to have to wait a whole week.
How come this? For this year comes on Pesach Sunday night and Tuesday night.
No, Tuesday night. That's fine. So Wednesday night is the first night of Svira.
The first night, the second night.
First night.
The
second night of Pesach starts Svira.
It's Thursday night. Right?
The second night.
No, it's correct. Sorry.
Wednesday and
both
Thursday.
No, you said Tuesday. It's Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. So the Wednesday night is the first night. So Thursday night is the second one. Yeah. So it's right away. But if you're going to say you have to wait till after Shabbos, so it's a couple of days after the beginning, and it says it has to be Samach B'Yaseh. It has to be right after Pesach comes in the next day, just like by the Chodesh. So that's why we cannot say it's Mimachas HaShabbos. It says in the Torah, Havei Oima BePesach. It says being the Oima on Pesach, Shtei Alach Matzeres, and the Shtei Alachem being on Shavuos. Malahala, just like by the Shtei Alachem, Regal Ubitchil Saregel. When do you bring the Shtei Alachem? Right at the beginning of Yom Tov. Are you going to tell me? Well, say it's beginning. Shavuos is one day. It was a beginning. So he says because there is Hashlam of 7 days. That's why we don't say Tachna Ad Yud Beis of Sivan. Right. Because you can be Mashlim bringing the carbon. So he says, when do you bring it? Tchila Berego, right away, at the beginning. So Afkan, so too, when the Eimer comes around, it's Berego. The Tchilas Herego has to be right away, right at the beginning of the Yom Tov, not to wait till there'll be a Sunday after Shabbos. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseda Eimer, Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseda says, Nema Shabbos L'mayla. By the Eimer it says, Usvat Lechem Mimachas HaShabbos, it says. And by the Shtei Alachem it also says Ad Mimachas HaShabbos HaShvius Tisbu Chamish Miyim. Ma'ala Halon, just like by the Shabbos that's written by the Shtei Alachem. There's a regal utchilas regal samachla, just like just like by the Malahalam, just like by the Shabbos by the Shtei Alachem. It's like the previous answer. It's right on the beginning of Yom Tov. And Avkan, Regel, Utchilas Regel, Samachla. So to here, when it says Yom Tov, it means the beginning of Yom Tov. Here, what's the difference between this answer, meaning Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yishmael? Rabbi Yishmael learned it as a binyan av. He compared it. Rabbi Yishmael compared Omer bePesach to the Shtei Alachem. And Rabbi Yehuda said it's Hexer Shabbat. It says the word Shabbos by both. But really, they're saying the same thing. I think we're going to have to stop here.